Sometimes it feels like certain adventures are reserved only for songs and movies. Like actually going out and doing them could only be a dream. But I wanted to live that dream. So I lived like a song and decided to take the midnight train going anywhere. At 6:30 a.m., we made our first stop in a small mountain town called Jasper. We had about 3 hours to walk around there, and I started out by getting breakfast at a cafe. The few hours of sleep I got in the chair on the train weren't that great, but I still wanted to make the most of the time in Jasper. It was really snowy though, which made walking around hard and obscured the views of the mountains. But I was still happy that I got the chance to see it, even if it was really cloudy. When I got back on the train, I decided to explore it, since when I first arrived, all I did was get to my chair and sleep. As soon as I made my way into a room on a train, I was greeted by an insanely beautiful view. All the annoyance I had about the snow when I was in Jasper faded when I saw how amazing the world outside the window looked, blanketed by it. And then in that room, I talked with a couple other passengers and learned about their lives.
They're on my train. It's beautiful. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
It was actually Remembrance Day when we were traveling, so they asked us to have a moment of silence for the soldiers. In that moment, I watched some of the most beautiful scenes I'd ever seen pass me by, and it really made me even more grateful to those who had protected such beautiful nature by supporting our country.
Saturday, November 11th is Remembrance Day, an occasion to honor the memory and devotion of those members of the armed forces. We wishes to invite all passengers to join in a minute of silence.
At one point, we slowed down at another small town to pick someone up, and I couldn't really believe that there were people who really lived in the midst of all the beautiful nature there.
Bell Mountain is ultimate mountain town between the Rocky Mountains, the Wanashee Mountains, and the Caribou Mountains.
After a while, I went back to the room and talked with the friends I had made. One of them actually showed me a spot that I didn't know was there, and there were a few cool things there, like puzzles and books. Then another lady showed us a bunch of pictures she had taken on her travels, which was cool. It was so interesting to be able to talk to people from different places and of different ages and realize that we were all in that same spot.
No way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I didn't even know this existed. Oh.
He spent 10 months there.
Okay.
He was like, it was 10-month holiday.
Like signatures. Oh, but someone says the pieces are missing.
The train in Toronto. We get off in Winnipeg. Then we waited for the next train to come.
Drive everywhere. We've been all over the place in BC. Just everywhere.
Wow.
That's a lot of
That's so cool.
wait.
Is she?
I packed a lunch that made me feel like I was a kid at school again, and I ate that at my chair. I also went to the washroom, and you can see I had a tiny view from there too, which is kind of funny. And I also noticed that the ride had a little mascot. Later, I went up to the observation car and we saw a waterfall at one point too. The train stopped for a little bit to let freight trains pass, so it was cool having the good view of the waterfall there at least. We kept passing by beautiful mountains and lakes, and I really felt so lucky to be there. The sun began to set, but it was far from the end of my night. I met another friend, and we had dinner together, and I shared my goldfish with him. Then we joined some other people and played games with them.
We get a little bit closer. It's looking pretty good for on time at the moment. So if you do have any questions, Zerkin?
I don't know. Did they make it?
The train also made a stop in Kamloops for a bit, and it was cool to get out there, even though it was dark and there wasn't really much to see. But there was even a guy who was boxing, which was pretty funny. When we got back on the train, we all talked with the new friends we made until midnight. It was so amazing to have met all these people just by going on this spontaneous adventure.
Wow.
Plus 100, 2,000. You have to roll them all. Still doesn't want to roll. So it's up to you. You can still pick and choose, right? So I would go. Yep.
We rolled into Vancouver in the morning after not much sleep in the economy seats, and I said goodbye to all the people I met and went on my way. I had breakfast at a place there and looked at all the fall colors. As I walked around the city I traveled for days to see, I couldn't help but smile and realize that we can't ever stop believing that our lives can be as interesting as a movie or a song. See you in the next one.